off as Juvia walked off stage. And now here is the third contestant. Her beauty can make all the men in Earthland drunk, Mirajan. Max declared as Mira appeared. Even Mira-chan is in this? Naruto asked in surprise. He'd heard that she was in that weekly Sorcerer magazine as a cover girl, but he'd never thought she'd enter a beauty contest like this, even if it was fairy tale. Her chakra is still different than a normal human's, Itachi thought as Mira took center stage. Her brother's is similar, however hers seems to be far denser. I am very skilled at transformation magic, Mira said, and her head transformed into Happy's. Just the face, Gajeel. True to her words, Happy's head suddenly turned into Gajeel's. That's just not right. Naruto shivered at the sight of Gajeel's face on a woman's body, especially Mirajan's. Now for our fourth contestant. Max continued. The strongest woman in fairy tale, Urza Scarlet. She really did enter, Naruto thought as Urza walked out in her regular armor. I'll let you witness that re-equip that I've reserved, Urza whispered and re-equipped a maid outfit. Hey, I won. Damn. Naruto trailed off as he watched her turn and walk off stage. Naruto. Hey, Earthland to Naruto, hello. Gray called, but Naruto just stood there in a daze. We've lost him. Fifth contestant. The fairy, the cute and knowledgeable, Levi Magarden. Max exclaimed as Levi stepped onto the stage, and with her magic she created several large colored words in the air around her. It's Levi. Jet and Droid cheered for their teammate. Sixth contestant. The sexy cowgirl, Biska Mulan. Max declared. Super cute, Alzak smiled. Seventh contestant. The super rookie, give it up for Lucy H. Max started only for Lucy to jump out at him and stop him. No, don't say my last name. Lucy yelled at him. Name, Itachi inquired. Don't ask. Naruto sighed, remembering the war with Phantom Lord. If people know my dad is rich, I won't be able to get the money, Lucy thought as she waved at the crowd. Well, I'll dance with my stellar spirits. Number 8, a new voice spoke from behind her. Wait, I haven't even started yet. Lucy began as she turned and saw the newcomer. If you talk about the greatest fairy, then it's me, the woman spoke clearly. If you talk about beauty, then it's me, that's right, it's all me. The champion will definitely be me, Evergreen. It's boring, so we'll end this beauty contest here. Evergreen. Gray's eyes widened in shock. She came back, Elfman added just as surprised. Who is she? Naruto asked as Itachi narrowed eyes at the woman. Quit playing around. This beauty contest concerns my living. Lucy yelled back at the woman. Lucy, don't look into her eyes. Gray shouted quickly. What? Lucy asked, confused at his words. What did you say, little girl? Evergreen questioned as she lifted her glasses and the two made eye contact. A moment later, Lucy froze and turned to Stone. What is that, Stone? Is this a performance? This is terrible. Everyone, run. Max shouted to the audience and they hurriedly ran out of the guild. What are you doing, Evergreen? Are you trying to ruin the festival? Makarov demanded. Doesn't a festival have a main show? Evergreen asked, amused as the curtains behind her were pulled up, revealing the previous 6 Miss Fairy Tale girls, turned to Stone. Urza. Naruto's eyes widened as the sight of the redhead. She turned those in the waiting room to Stone. Max stammered as he fell back. Sis. Elfman called out to the petrified Mira. There must be a way to return them to normal, Itachi thought as he looked over at Mira. You fool. Turn them back to normal. Makarov ordered in anger. Oi. Fairy tale idiots. There was a flash of thunder and Laxus suddenly stood on the stage with 2 other males at his side. The real festival begins now. Laxus. Makarov asked, surprised. Freed and Bixlo too, Gray gritted. The Ragenshu, Laxus bodyguards. Why don't we play a game, old man? Laxus sneered. Don't do something stupid, Makarov spoke clearly. We have to get ready for Fantasia, turn them back to normal now. Fantasia is late at night, Laxus responded knowingly. If we hurry, people might get to see it. He called forth a bolt of yellow lightning from above and sent it at Lucy. Stop it, Makarov roared. Senjutsu. Senenmoto, Naruto whispered and disappeared, a burst of speed. He reappeared beside the other petrified girls with an unharmed Lucy in hand as the lightning bolt struck behind him. You know, I let a lot of bad stuff slide where I'm concerned. But the moment you dared to attack one of my friends was moment that you really pissed me off. He turned sharply with his Sharingan spinning wildly. He has the same eye as that freak from the other day, Laxus thought. You may have saved one of those girls, but can you save all of them? He sneered as he gestured towards the rest of the petrified girls. I'll destroy them all if you break my rules. Like I said, this is the main show. There are things that can't be taken as a joke, Laxus, Makarov spoke, obviously furious. Of course, I'm serious, Laxus chuckled in response. I can only make 5 sage clones and there are 7 hostages. A regular shadow clone isn't fast enough to dodge one of those lightning bolts, Naruto thought quickly. What now? It's just a game, to find out who. Freed began. Is the strongest mage in fairy tale, Bixlo finished. The rules are simple, Laxus bellowed. The last survivor wins. Fairy tale fight starts now. A second later a table was blown up into the air and fell to the side of the room, causing silence to reign. Isn't this great? This is way too easy to understand. I'm revved up. Natsu grinned as he pumped his fist into the air. Natsu, you're always up for a good time, aren't you? I kind of like that, Laxus smirked in amusement. Natsu. Makarov trailed off as the Fire Dragon Slayer stepped up to his side. This is a festival, right, old man? Let's go. Natsu was about to launch himself at Laxus when Itachi placed a hand on his shoulder. Your strength of will is admirable, however in this type of situation the best way to defeat an enemy is to remove their advantage from the battlefield first, namely the hostages, Itachi told him. He's right, Makarov nodded as he looked over the 7 petrified girls. If you want to free these lovely ladies, you'll have to defeat us first, Evergreen explained. There are 4 of us, and about 100 of you. We're at a disadvantage, she laughed at her own words. The time limit is 3 hours. If you cannot defeat us before that time is up, then these girls will be reduced to sand. Thank you for informing me. Itachi bowed his head in acknowledgement and raised it back up to reveal his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Amaterasu. Black flames exploded from his eyes and engulfed Evergreen, making her scream. Laxus saved her by turning his body into yellow lightning and quickly disappeared in a burst of speed along with Freed and Bixlo. He's fast, Naruto growled out. I can sense them, they're outside and they're splitting up. Probably heading for each corner of the town, Itachi added. He's gone. Hide and seek with the whole damn village to play in, damn that Laxus. Why, that absolute moron. I've got to save Nei-chan and the others. Elfman roared as he barged through the main door and ran out of the room with most of the guild following close behind. Damn those s. Capture Laxus. Hell, I'm gonna smash him to pieces. How dare he look down on us? Biska, I will save you, no matter what, Alzak promised and left with the rest. Damn him, I'll put him in his place. That damn brat. Makarov roared in outrage as he followed the crowd only to run right into an invisible wall. What are you playing at, old man? Gray asked him. What is this? I cannot go any further. There is an invisible wall, Makarov strained as he pushed against it. What's wrong with you, at a time like this? I'm not seeing any invisible wall, Gray responded as he tried to pull the old master through the doorway, even resorting to lifting him off the ground and trying to drag him through. There's a seal in the air above you, Itachi spoke up as a series of purple runes hung in the doorway above them. Is this Freed's enchantment? Makarov mused. Enchantment? Gray asked. A form of barrier, Makarov explained. It's a form of magic placed upon a location, designed to trap those who stray within its borders. It must be inscribed in these runes all around the building. Those who stray within the enchantment are placed under certain rules, and without following them, escape is impossible. Look, rule. Those above the age of 80, and are stone statues, may not pass. What the hell is with this magic? It's like some kid saying, because I said so, and it actually works. Gray exclaimed. That is a very dangerous ability, Itachi mused. It takes time to inscribe an enchantment like this. As such, it is practically useless in ordinary combat, but incredibly effective as a trap, Makarov continued. So what, because of this magic, you won't be able to get out of here? Can't you just destroy it? I mean, come on. Gray gritted out. An enchantment's rules are absolute, Makarov responded. And this one encompasses both age and substance. Damn you, Freed, when did you become this powerful? In other words, he never intended to let you take part in this from the start, Gray mused darkly and turned away. Well, I guess we'll just have to give it our best shot. Why is it affecting me? Natsu shouted angrily as he banged on the invisible wall. Me too, Naruto growled out as he punched it. I really hate barriers. Are you over 80, Natsu? Makarov asked incredulously. Of course not, Natsu yelled back as he continued to punch at the invisible wall. It must be affecting you because of the Kyuubi, Itachi mused as he looked over at Naruto. Damn it, Naruto gritted out and stepped back. Well then, if I can't go through it I'll just have to go around it. He bit his thumb and formed a series of hand seals. Kuchio's no jutsu. He slammed his hand down on the ground and Gamakichi appeared in an explosion of smoke. Yo bro, Gamakichi greeted. What's going on? Long story short, there's a civil war going on and I'm trapped inside a barrier that I can't get out of. Can you reverse summon me to Myobokuzen and then back to Earthland? Anywhere in the town would do, Naruto asked. Sure, Gamakichi nodded. It's not like we haven't done it before. He disappeared a moment later in a poof of smoke. I'll see you guys on the outside, Naruto waved at them before he too disappeared in a poof of smoke. Itachi, Gray, Makarov spoke up. Go after Laxus and end this before it gets any worse. Right, Gray acknowledged. Itachi nodded and the two turned to leave. I'm not gonna show any mercy just because he's your grandson, Gray said clearly as they left. We're taking Laxus down. We should split up, Itachi suggested. We'll cover more ground faster. Yeah, Gray agreed and the two split apart, heading in opposite directions through the city. Earthland. Magnolia Ocean. Gyuku Kuchio's no jutsu. Gamakichi bellowed as Naruto appeared in an explosion of smoke. After returning to Myobokuzen he had then used one of the water passages to travel to Earthland in order to reverse summon Naruto. The easiest water passage to access was the ocean behind the Fairy Tail Guild itself, which was where Gamakichi had summoned the blonde sage. Thanks Gamakichi, Naruto nodded. Any time bro, Gamakichi responded. So you've finally arrived, a new voice spoke as a figure landed on the water in front of them. Who are you? Naruto questioned and then narrowed his eyes when he saw what she was wearing. It was a black cloak with red clouds emblazoned on it. Akatsuki. Laxus certainly played his role well. The newcomer was a girl with orange hair. She looked about 16 and had numerous black piercings on her face along with two gray eyes with circles around the pupils. Kuchio's no jutsu, she whispered and slapped her hand down on the water. A moment late 5 different people, all with the same hair, piercings and eyes appeared at her side. 6 people with the same eyes, Naruto thought as he clenched his fists at his side. This is pain. Bro, Gamakichi asked. Head on back to Myobokuzen and tell Fukasaku-sensei and Shima Obeken that pain is here in Earthland. I might have to summon them for this, Naruto told him. Right, Gamakichi nodded and disappeared in a poof of smoke. Surrender the Kyuubi and I will make your death as painless as possible. Resist and I will take you by force, Pain demanded. You want the Kyuubi? Come and get it then, Naruto snarled as his uncovered Sharingan quickly shifted into its Mangekyo form. Kuchio's no jutsu, Naruto whispered as he slapped his hand down on the water and both Fukasaku and Shima appeared at his side a moment later. We heard from Gamakichi, Fukasaku spoke first as he turned his gaze on the 6 paths of pain. This isn't going to be easy, Naruto boy. I could do with some help here, Naruto responded. The chubby one can absorb chakras and ninjutsu is useless against him, Fukasaku informed. The girl is new so she must be the one that replaced the summoning one that Jiraiya boy killed back in AIM. Any ideas about the others? Naruto asked. No, Fukasaku replied. All other information about him that Konoha gathered was lost when the village was destroyed. Damn, Naruto gritted. Well then, it looks like I'd better take out that absorbing pain first. How? Shima asked him. Kamui, Naruto whispered as he concentrated solely on the Preta path. Space and time distorted mere inches from Preta's chest and the spiraling vortex quickly pulled him in. He has the Mangekyo Sharingan like Itachi and Senjutsu like Jiraiya sensei. This will not be as easy as the other Jinchuriki, Pain thought as his Preta path was ripped apart. 1 down and 5 to go, Naruto thought as he formed a familiar hand seal. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, 5 shadow clones popped into existence at his side. Kuchio's no Jutsu, the animal path whispered as she slapped her hand down on the water. A second later a giant rhino, a giant bull and a giant dog appeared in an explosion of smoke. They charged as one, running atop the water towards Naruto and his clones who were currently readying their next attack. It's ready, go, the real Naruto shouted as 3 of his clones jumped at the approaching summoned creatures. Senpo, Udama Rasenrangan, the 3 Naruto clones exclaimed as they slammed 3 separate chakra spheres the size of their own body down on top of the attacking animals. Clear, they yelled as their attacks knocked the creatures out of the way. Futon, Rasenshuriken, the real Naruto called out as he hurled the chakra shuriken at the remaining 5 paths of pain. What is that jutsu? Pain thought as the chakra shuriken closed in. Shinra Tensai, Diva whispered and a moment later the chakra shuriken fell apart, scattering wind chakra around his form. He repelled it. Naruto's eyes widened at the sight. You are clearly outmatched, Pain declared. Senpo, Rasenrangan, 2 of Naruto's clones dropped in from above and slammed twin chakra spheres down on both human and animal. What? Pain thought as his summoned creatures disappeared back to where they came. He created 5 clones, 3 of which engaged my summons and he used the other 2 to aid in forming the chakra shuriken he used. Once he formed it, he must have had those 2 clones jump up while I was forced to maintain my concentration on his jutsu. Only 3 left, Naruto thought as his clones lunged at the remaining paths from different directions. Shinra Tensai, Diva exclaimed and suddenly the shadow clones were blown away, destroying them. What the hell was that? That wasn't a shockwave, Naruto mused. Shirato, Asura spoke as it threw off its cloak revealing a man with 4 arms, 3 faces and a blade-like tail. Its arms opened up and small missiles exploded out towards the blonde sage. Damn it, Naruto grunted as he jumped back. The missiles struck where he had just been standing and exploded, blowing him back while he was in midair. He landed back on the water's surface a moment later and looked over at his opponent only to find that Diva stood in front of Naraku. To the side of Naraku was a thing, with the Rinnegan and purple flames covering its bottom. What the hell is that? Jigokudo, Naraku spoke clearly as a fully healed human and animal paths emerged from the monster's mouth. How the hell did he resurrect those 2? Naruto asked over his shoulder. I am unsure, Fukasaku answered. But Jiraiya boy killed 3 of them and Pain resurrected them later. So that thing must resurrect anyone who falls in battle, Naruto thought as he formed another hand seal. Why haven't you run out of Sage Chakra yet? Fukasaku inquired. Without Rai gathering it for you, you should have used up all of your own natural energy by now. I've found a way to gather it myself, Naruto replied as he thought back to a very long discussion. Flashback no jutsu begin. So you can use natural energy? Makarov inquired. But power like that must come with serious risk. Yeah, Naruto nodded. I can control it but I can only take in a certain amount and when it's used up I have to remain still in order to gather more. I see. Makarov trailed off. That could be a problem should you face someone who is able to last long enough for you to expend all of your natural energy. We tried a jutsu to allow one of my toad summons to gather it for me but the fox keeps interfering, Naruto grumbled. What about a lacrima? Makarov suggested. We could modify a lacrima to gather natural energy like we do for Idarian though I admit it will have to be surgically implanted within you. You can do that? Naruto asked. Perliuzuka can. Yes, Makarov nodded. Alright then, let's do it, Naruto nodded. If you're sure, Makarov agreed. I'll talk to Levi and see if she can help modify a lacrima for your use. Flashback no jutsu end. Taju Kage Bunshin no jutsu. Naruto called out as 1,000 clones popped into existence around them. An army will not save you here, Pain declared. We'll see about that. The clone army yelled back as they jumped at the 5 paths of pain. Senpo. Cho Udama Razan Tarangan. They exclaimed as they descended on their opponents with huge spinning chakra spheres in hand. That is not good enough, Pain thought as Diva launched himself up at the attacking clones. Shinra Tensai. With one mighty blast of gravity, the clone army was hurled back with an echoing pulse followed by dozens of explosions as the chakra spheres lost containment. What? Diva's eyes widened when he saw a chakra shuriken emerge from the smoke and sailed right at him. Futon. Rasenshuriken. Naruto called out as the chakra shuriken struck Diva dead center in the chest and expanded into a spinning sphere of wind and destruction, sending ripples across the water they stood on. Shirado. Asura muttered as he unleashed a beam of green light from his hand which had changed into what looked like a machine-like cannon. Kamui. Naruto exclaimed as space and time distorted in front of him, deflecting the blast as it closed in. Damn it, he thought as he felt Sage Mode leave him. So I was right, thought as the human path appeared behind him. If I create more than 5 clones then my lacrima can't gather Sage Chakra fast enough to maintain Sage Mode. It's over, Human spoke clearly and outstretched his hand to grab Naruto. Ning, he started only to freeze in place when a familiar melody reached his ears and the ears of the other paths. Megan. Gamma Rensho. Fukasaku and Shima called out together as the remaining 4 paths of pain found themselves in the familiar in a watery cube surrounded by 4 samurai toads. Now Naruto. Finish them. Naruto didn't have to be told twice and quickly withdrew 4 kunai from his weapon pouch before throwing them at the 4 motionless paths. The kunai struck each target in the neck and sliced right through, causing them to collapse and fall into the water that they had stood upon. We did it, Shima sighed in relief. Not yet, Naruto responded as he walked over and lifted the now headless human path out of the water. Senjutsu. Senin Moto, he whispered as he felt Sage Mode return to him. He removed one of the piercings from Human's body and stabbed his hand with it. What are you doing? Fukasaku inquired. It was just for a moment but I know what I felt, Naruto replied cryptically as he closed his eyes. There you are, he muttered before turning towards the east forest. Where are you going? Fukasaku asked as he saw the blonde turn and start walking. To confront the real pain, Naruto answered. I just hope the others can handle Laxus and save the girls while I deal with this guy. Earthland. Magnolia Cathedral. You're a difficult man to track down, Itachi spoke as he entered the cathedral. And you're a persistent guy, Laxus responded with his back towards the Uchiha. Unlike last time I will not fall to your little eye tricks, he said as he turned while making sure to keep his gaze at Itachi's feet instead of his face. Itachi grunted. Both Bixlow and Evergreen have very dangerous eyes. I know how to fight someone without looking at their eyes, Laxus continued. So it would seem, Itachi nodded as his eyes shifted into their eternal Mangekyo Sharingan form. Amaterasu, he whispered as black flames erupted from his eyes and shot at the blonde man in front of him. He's fast but I'm faster, Laxus thought as he encased his body in yellow lightning and evaded the black flames. He disappeared in a burst of speed and reappeared above Itachi. Rijingu Boruto, he exclaimed as he sent a yellow bolt of lightning at the Uchiha. Susanoo, Itachi grunted as he read spiritual bones formed around him. That level of skill will not be enough to defeat me, he spoke clearly as the lightning struck. So that is his true form, Laxus thought angrily and then snapped his head to the side when he felt something that he thought would never happen. Evergreen has been defeated. Then the hostages are now free. Has something happened? Itachi inquired. The hostages have been released, Laxus gritted out with anger lacing his words. No matter, I will just have to up the stakes of this little game of ours. Stakes? Itachi questioned further. I will use Kaminari Den and destroy Magnolia Town, Laxus declared. I cannot allow that, Itachi responded. Then let's continue, Laxus smirked as his body exploded in yellow electricity. Rai no Metsuryu Maho. He is a dragon slayer. Itachi thought in surprise. This will not be easy. This is your end, Laxus sneered as he disappeared in a burst of speed and reappeared right in front of Itachi. Raryu no Hoken. Enten. Kokuin no Tate. Itachi spoke clearly as black flames wrapped around the spirit bones forcing Laxus to back away. You are even able to manipulate those flames of yours that much, Laxus mused at the sight. I could never do that before, Itachi thought as he examined the black flames he had created. Is this the power of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan? Just then the door to the cathedral opened allowing a single cloaked figure to enter. Reinforcements. So you're here, Laxus smirked at the newcomer. Mistogen, I never dreamed you'd actually decide to take part in my little game. Deactivate the Kaminari Den immediately, and you may still be able to pass this off as a mere addition to the festivities, Mistogen spoke clearly. This is my lucky day, Laxus chuckled. I'm sure you know, right? The rumors are flying left and right, about who is the strongest mage in Fairy Tale. Me, are you? I have little interest in such things, Mistogen responded. But I would propose Gildarts. Meh, he's no use, he isn't coming back, Laxus shrugged. Urza's showing a lot of promise and all, but she's still weak. Urza, weak? You must be as good as blind, or perhaps your current opponent has injured your head, Mistogen almost quipped. Look, I'm giving you a compliment here, Mistogen, Laxus smirked, though there seemed to be a flash of anger when Itachi was mentioned. Right now, the strongest member of Fairy Tale is one of us too. I would have to disagree, Itachi cut in. You and I are evenly matched, and even though I have gotten stronger, I know that I am no match for Naruto Uzumaki as he is now. Besides the master, Naruto is the strongest mage in Fairy Tale. So I have heard, Mistogen nodded. I believe he is currently in battle against 5 men and 1 woman with strange eyes. Pain, Laxus sneered. He came to me and offered to take care of that brat. Leader Sama is fighting Naruto-kun right now, Itachi questioned in surprise. How could Leader Sama have even gotten to this world? The battle is already over, Mistogen replied. Uzumaki defeated all 6 of his opponents and left to confront what I believe to be a 7th. It doesn't matter, Laxus shrugged. Let's settle this once and for all with the title of strongest at stake. Mistogen, or should I call you Jelal? Jelal, Itachi thought in surprise. Just then both Laxus and Mistogen hurled shockwaves at each other as Itachi jumped into the air. The windows shattered and the floor cracked as the entire cathedral shook from the clash. Itachi landed a moment later and kept glancing from Laxus to Mistogen as more the spiritual bones around him continued to form until it took the shape of a red humanoid skeleton. Where did you learn that? Mistogen inquired. Good question, Laxus grinned. Maybe I'll tell you if you beat me. You will regret this, Laxus, Mistogen spoke clearly as he held up his staff. You are about to witness a form of magic never seen before. Bring it, Laxus dared. I'll show you just where you stand. Laxus, Chu voice called out as the doors to the cathedral swung open, allowing Urza and Natsu to enter. Urza, Natsu, Itachi nodded. Who is this guy? Natsu asked as he looked over at Mistogen. Mistogen, Urza asked. You're wide open. Laxus smirked as he threw out another bolt of yellow lightning. Rijingu Boruto. The attack struck Mistogen in the chest and sent him crashing into the wall beside the door. When the smoke cleared, Mistogen's mask was torn to shred, revealing his blue hair and very familiar face. Jelal, Urza froze at the sight. You, Natsu said angrily. You're alive, Urza trailed off. Oh, a familiar face, Laxus asked mockingly. What's going on here? Are you saying that Mistogen is Jelal? Natsu demanded. It would appear so, Itachi replied. Urza, I wanted you, at least, not to see this face, Mistogen sighed. What? Urza asked confused. I am not Jelal, Mistogen told her. I know him, but he is not me, he turned away. I'm sorry, I leave the rest to you. Hey, Natsu called out, but it was too late, Mistogen was already gone. You stupid idiot. Fine, I'll deal with you later. Laxus, it's you I'm here for. Urza, I'll handle this guy, alright. When she didn't answer, he spoke again. Urza. Raryu no Hoko. Laxus bellowed as blast of yellow lightning exploded from his mouth right at Urza. Your opponent is me, Itachi spoke clearly as he quickly moved in the way and Susanoo completely formed around him. He brought down the Yata no Kagami to deflect the blast and readied the flaming Totsuka no Tsurugi for his counterattack. You're an annoying pest, Laxus sneered at him. That was Dragon Slayer magic. Natsu thought in shock. Just what are those things in the sky, Laxus? Urza questioned. The Kaminari Den, I dare say that you've heard of it. Laxus smirked. You're not planning to destroy the town? Urza questioned further. Ha 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 ha, it's a new rule, it hurts to have to use it. But, Laxus shrugged. You swine, Urza yelled as she quickly closed the distance between them and landed a kick to his chest, knocking him back several feet. 2 minutes to go, Laxus declared. Natsu, you have to destroy them. Urza shouted to the fire dragon slayer. We can't destroy them, Natsu gritted back. Well, I mean, if we destroy them, then we get taken out with them. That is a problem, Itachi mused. Saitai Rinku Maho? Urza asked in surprise. That's right, Laxus replied with a wide smile. Nobody can lay a finger on those lacrima. You cowardly. Urza trailed off angrily. Fine, she turned and started walking back towards the main doors. Where are you going? Natsu asked her. Don't tell me you're going to try and stop the Kaminari Den. Ha 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 ha, useless. Just destroying a single lacrima could cost you your life. There are 300 individual lacrima floating in the sky up there. And you're out of time. Laxus laughed. I'll destroy them all at once, Urza declared with absolute confidence. Impossible, Laxus bellowed. And even if you did manage, you'd die for sure. But the town will be saved, Urza responded, surprising Laxus. Itachi, Natsu, I'll leave Laxus to you too. Why you? Are you trying to destroy the rules of the game? Laxus demanded. I can trust you too, right, Urza? Natsu asked. And I don't mean on whether it's impossible or not. I mean you'll come out of this alive. Naruto and everyone else saved my life. I have no intention of wasting it, Urza thought as she ran out of the tower and towards the center of town. That girl is something else, Itachi thought as she disappeared from sight. Damn it, Laxus snarled as he lunged forward. Karyu no Hoko, Natsu bellowed as a large blast of fire exploded from his mouth. I am going to defeat you, here and now. Natsu, prepare yourself, Itachi said as his spirit thunder god raised thrust forward with the Totsuka no Tsurugi. You little pests, Laxus sneered as he evaded the flaming sword. This man is a dragon slayer, like you, Itachi said to Natsu. A dragon slayer? Natsu asked in surprise. Since when? It surprised me too, Itachi nodded. A dragon slayer, huh? A new voice spoke from behind them. Not like I care or anything, but he's still an enemy of the guild. Urza is rounding up everyone else to deal with Kaminari Den, so that leaves this guy. Gajeel. Natsu blinked in surprise. You're protecting the guild. Destroying it, protecting it, it's my choice, Gajeel responded. I thought there wasn't room for 2 dragons in this sky, Natsu grinned. Maybe not, Gajeel smirked back. But with all this damn thunder around, the sky isn't fit for flying. This is a one-time thing, alright. Damn right it is, Natsu nodded. I'm going to settle things with you one of these days. Settle your differences later, Itachi said to his new partners. For now we have an enemy to take down. Raryu Hotengeki, Laxus exclaimed as he formed a spear of yellow lightning in his hands and hurled it right at Itachi. That is not enough, Itachi spoke clearly as the lightning spear struck the Yata no Kagami and exploded with a maelstrom of power. Unlike my predecessor, Madara Uchiha, my Susanoo has both the Yata no Kagami, which is said to be almost impenetrable, and the Totsuka no Tsurugi, which can seal anything it touches into the jar held by Susanoo's third arm. Couple these with the other abilities of my eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and I am said to be invincible. Is that a boast? That doesn't sound like you, Laxus sneered. I am merely pointing out that unless you have a spell that can penetrate my defenses, you cannot defeat me, Itachi explained. I know just the thing. Laxus smirked at that and his muscles seemed to enlarge as yellow lightning exploded from his form. Doragon Fosu. Natsu, Gajeel, now is the time, Itachi spoke clearly as both Susanoo's shield and sword disappeared. Karyu no Hoko, Natsu exclaimed as he breathed a large blast of fire at Laxus. Tetsuryu no Hoko, Gajeel called out at the same time as he expelled a tornado of wind and metal. Yusaka Magatama, Itachi whispered as his Susanoo threw several linked tomo. The 3 attacks merged into one and struck Laxus in the chest, exploding upon contact with thunderous force and shaking the whole cathedral. Did we get him? Natsu asked. However, this was soon followed by a wave of sheer power. What is this insane magic power? Gajeel stammered. This feeling, it's the old man's. Natsu answered with wide eyes. What is this? Itachi inquired. Master Makarov's ultimate spell of judgment, Natsu replied. Targeting everyone the user identifies as an enemy. Yosei no Horitsu, Laxus roared as light gathered in his hands. Yosei no Horitsu. The attack that defeated Master Jose in a single blow. Gajiel shivered at the memory of that spell. Stop, Laxus, Natsu yelled. That shouldn't be allowed. An attack that targets everyone the user recognizes as an enemy, Gajiel said shakily. Amaterasu, Itachi whispered and sent a wave of black flames at the lightning dragon slayer before him. If that spell is anything like the one that was used at the Tower of Heaven, then I cannot allow him to use it. Not good enough. Laxus roared as the light extinguished the inextinguishable black flames. Stop, Laxus, a new female voice called out from the door. Levi, Natsu shouted in surprise. You fool, Gajiel growled. What are you doing here? The master is, your own grandfather, is on death's door. Levi shouted at the top of her lungs. So please, just stop this, just go and see him. On death's door, Natsu muttered in shock. The old man is gonna die. Laxus, Levi shouted again. Well, that just suits me great, Laxus sneered. Looks like my chances of becoming master just went up again. Why you? Gajiel growled in disgust. Die fairy tale, Laxus roared. I'll build you up from scratch. A guild that'll make everyone tremble in fear. I'll make the ultimate guild. Not today, Itachi spoke clearly as his Susanoo pierced Laxus with the Totsuka no Tsurugi. When did you? Laxus gasped as the light of fairy law dissipated. You talk too much, Itachi replied. I won't seal you inside the jar, however I will seal your power until such a time as you are ready to wield it again. Why you can't do this to me? Laxus shouted as the flame sword in his chest pulsed and he felt his power leave him. We rise, you fall, Itachi declared. Karyu no Tekken. Natsu roared as he shot forward and slammed his flame-covered fist into the side of Laxus' face. And stay down. It's finally over, Itachi let out a small sigh as he felt Susanoo disperse around him. It looks like Urza and the rest of Fairy Tail have stopped Kaminari Den too, Gajiel spoke up as he gestured over to the hologram displaying the status of the Lacrima. I knew Urza wouldn't let us down, Natsu grinned. Now all that remains is Naruto-kun and Leader Sama, Itachi mused as he turned away. Earthland. Magnolia outskirts. This must be it, Naruto thought as he approached a tall tree made out of paper. Rasengan, he exclaimed as he slammed a spinning chakra sphere into its side, blowing open a hole large enough for him to step through. Where are you? So, peace has arrived, huh? Spoke a male voice from the shadows. It took only a moment for his eyes to adjust to the darkness, but upon closer inspection he saw that it was a man with red hair sitting in a white walking machine and he didn't look at all healthy. Judging by his eyes he had the Rinnegan and at his side was a woman with blue hair and an origami flower pinning her hair together. Are you the real one? Naruto asked plainly. Move aside, Konan, the redhead spoke and the woman moved out of the way. Do you hate me? Now that you see me before you, you want your revenge, don't you? The redhead asked the blonde Jinchuriki. If you kill Nagato and get your revenge, that won't change anything. It'll only make you feel better, Konan said clearly. You're right, Naruto nodded. But I didn't come here to talk to you, I came here to end this once and for all. Then let's finish this. Nagato narrowed his eyes and a black chakra rod shot out of his chair. The chakra rod hit Naruto right in the stomach, forcing him to grunt in pain and clutch the wound. At this range I can easily control you with my chakra, don't worry, it's not fatal. As a Jinchuriki, you're very important to me after all. You know, you're seriously starting to piss me off. Naruto roared as the Kyuubi's sinister red chakra exploded from his form. He let me hit him, on purpose. Nagato's eyes widened as the Kyuubi's chakra condensed until Naruto stood before him with 6 swishing tails, red chakra skin and a white bone-like wrapped around him. Nagato, Konan gasped as she jumped between the two of them. I also came here to find out how I would feel when I finally saw you in front of me, Naruto snarled out. He still has control, Nagato thought, and I really want to kill you, Naruto growled and lunged forward. Get out of the way, Konan! Nagato yelled, but it was already too late. Naruto merely batted Konan aside with a back fist across the face. Damn it, he gritted out as Naruto lunged at him directly. Come here. Naruto roared as he landed on Nagato's chair and expelled blue and red spheres of chakra from his body. Oh no! Nagato's eyes widened as he saw Naruto start gathering the blue and red chakra spheres into a pitch-black chakra sphere at his mouth. Konan, run! Yelled the god of rain as he brought his hands up into a seal. Ima! Naruto started. Bansho Tenin! Nagato exclaimed as he slammed a nearby boulder into the side of Naruto's chakra-covered face. The world was consumed in light a moment later. Earthland. Magnolia Fairy Tale. It looks like thanks to Perliuzuka-san his life is no longer in danger, Urza declared to the room. Don't worry. The master is going to be just fine. Thank goodness, a bandaged Lucy smiled. I was really worried for a while there. Hey, the old man's not gonna go out that easy, an equally bandaged Gray smirked. Still, his years are showing. If he's put under too much stress, his condition could worsen again. I'd like everyone to keep that in mind, Urza told them. I wonder how Naruto-kun is doing right now, Itachi thought. He knew that the blonde Jinchuriki could take care of himself, and according to Mistogen he had even defeated the 6 paths of pain before heading out to confront what seemed to be a 7th. Are you all right? Mirajan asked. HN. Itachi grunted with a slight nod. Were you hurt? Mira inquired. What am I saying? Of course he was hurt. He was fighting Laxus. It is nothing, a little rest will not cure, Itachi replied in his usual tone. I wanted to thank you for what you did, Mira said with a smile. Urza-san is the one who defeated Evergreen-san and freed you when you were turned to stone. I did nothing, Itachi stated clearly. You beat Laxus, Mira countered. Natsu and Gajil may have helped, but it was you that stopped Laxus from destroying all Magnolia. Perhaps, Itachi mused, only for everyone to stop when they felt the ground rumble. What was that? Natsu asked. Naruto, Itachi answered. I thought he'd returned by now, Urza said as she turned to the Uchiha. I didn't see him anywhere near Laxus or his team, so what's going on? Naruto-kun is currently in battle against my former employer, Itachi replied. Pain, the leader of the organization of S-class criminals known as the Akatsuki and the man who single-handedly destroyed Naruto-kun's home village in a single day. What, he's fighting that monster now? Urza yelled. Why didn't you say anything? Because in a fight like that, Itachi answered honestly. We'd only be in the way. I'm going after him, Urza declared and headed towards the main doors. Earthland. Magnolia outskirts. The power of the Kyuubi, magnificent. Nagato thought as he shakily stood on his badly crippled legs. Nagato, Konan shouted from the edge of the newly formed crater. Stay back, Konan, Nagato yelled back as the dust cleared to reveal Naruto in 6-tailed form once more. You have one fucked up notion of foul play, pal, Naruto growled at him. And it's pissing me off. Bansho Tenin, Nagato held up his hand and chakra pulsed from it. Naruto suddenly found himself being pulled towards Nagato as the Akatsuki leader hurled a large boulder at the chakra fox once again. What the fuck is with your jutsu? Naruto yelled as he stuck his tails into the ground and halted his fall towards the Rinnegan wielder. As the boulder came crashing down, he created a chakra arm from his chest and literally threw himself out of its way, letting it crash harmlessly to the ground where he had stood moments ago. Kuchio's no jutsu, Nagato exclaimed as he slammed his hand down on the ground, and in an explosion of smoke a large bird appeared. Crap, Naruto thought as Nagato took to the sky atop the bird's head. Come down here and fight like a monster, you crippled bastard, he yelled as he belched out bolts of fast-moving chakra at his now airborne opponent. They bounced harmlessly off of what seemed to be a bubble around the bird, forcing him to fire off a beam of red chakra at the bird. Hold still, you overgrown rooster, he thought as the bird dived and evaded the compressed red chakra beam. His control over the Kyuubi is impressive, Nagato thought. This will not be easy. Come on, Naruto thought as he started charging red and blue chakra spheres into a black ball at his mouth. Amari, he exclaimed as the black chakra sphere exploded right at the evading bird. Shinra Tensai, Nagato called out as the chakra sphere slammed into the side of his bird and exploded forward, washing over him. Nagato, Konan thought as she stared at the destruction around her. I need to end this now, Nagato thought as he dropped down in front of the chakra fox. I've got you now, Naruto yelled as he lunged forward with a spinning red chakra sphere in hand. Yoko Rasengan. Gakido. Fujutsu Kyuin, Nagato grunted as the spinning chakra sphere slammed into his chest. A second later the Kyuubi's chakra seemed to slide off from Naruto and was pulled into Nagato, seemingly rejuvenating him, and a moment later he appeared completely healthy. He's absorbing the Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto thought in surprise as he jumped away, putting some distance between himself and the now no longer crippled Nagato. Bansho Tenin. Nagato's hand pulsed again and Naruto found himself pulled towards Nagato once more. Damn it, Naruto grunted as Nagato grabbed him with his hand covered in blue chakra. Ninjendo. Nagato spoke clearly as he pulled his hand back with a white-blue ethereal something connected to it. I don't know what the hell he is trying to do, but it can't be good, Naruto thought as his Mangekyo Sharingan spun wildly. Kamui, he whispered as space and time distorted where Nagato's outstretched hand was forcing him to break their connection and jump back, away from the blonde. You can use all of your puppet's jutsu. This isn't a fight between ninja, Konan thought as she watched on. This is a fight between gods and demons. Surrender, Nagato spoke clearly. Your death will lead to peace. Peace? Naruto asked incredulously. You kill my sensei, destroy my village and slaughter my friends, and you have the nerve to speak about peace to me. What the fuck is wrong with you? You cannot possibly understand my pain, Nagato said clearly. I don't want to either, Naruto shot back. Shirado, Nagato exclaimed as his arm seemed to detach, revealing what Naruto had come to recognize as a small cannon. Green chakra started charging in its tube as he took aim and then fired one sustained beam right at him. Oh shit, Naruto cursed as his Mangekyo Sharingan spun wildly. Kamui, he called out as space and time distorted in front of him, drawing the blast in. Now I know why Itachi said he could never beat pain, this guy is a fucking monster. Chibaku Tensai, Nagato whispered as he brought his hands into a triangle seal and a ball of compressed gravity formed in the center. No Nagato, you can't use that jutsu with the amount of chakra you have left. Konan shouted from the sidelines. This is the Kyuubi we're dealing with, Konan. I can't afford to hold back. Nagato yelled back as he cast the gravity ball into the sky. This guy is using the same jutsu as his puppets, but he has the strength and speed to back it up. It's like fighting Itachi, Urza and Natsu at the same time, Naruto thought as the gravity sphere suddenly shone down light onto the battlefield. Oh shit, he added as he was lifted off of the ground along with most of the mountainside. How the hell do you beat something like this? This is your end, Nagato declared. Think damn it, that chakra ball he threw up into the sky must be what's causing all of this, Naruto thought as he saw the piles of rock that had been lifted up were smashing into the chakra sphere and forming some kind of moon, from it looked like. If that's true, then all I have to do is get rid of that chakra ball. He stared up at the new moon and focused with all his might. Senpo. Kamui, he whispered as time and space distorted in the center of the new moon and sucked it in. He destroyed Chibaku Tensai, Nagato thought in surprise as debris fell all around him. Damn it, I used up my sage chakra on that last jutsu, Naruto gritted his teeth as he fell and landed on his feet. Now what? You, Nagato trailed off. You have become a sage like Jiraiya-sensei. Jiraiya-sensei, Naruto snarled in anger. What the fuck are you talking about? Like you, I also studied by Jiraiya-sensei, Nagato replied. He desired peace and entrusted that peace to me. I intend to merge the Biju together and create a weapon so powerful it will cause pain and fear in order to prevent future shinobi wars. Pain, fear, like hell I'm gonna allow that. Naruto yelled back. You were his student, he trusted you, and you betrayed him. I will establish peace and order, Nagato declared. Any peace you create will bring nothing but suffering, Naruto responded with a glare. I'll stop you. Your fate is to be the sacrifice in order for me to establish peace, Nagato spoke clearly. You know, you really need to stop underestimating me, Naruto gritted out as the debris around them burst into smoke. Take him down. When did he? Nagato thought as 1,000 shadow clones descended upon him from all sides. He must have done it right before he destroyed Chibaku Tensai and used the falling debris as cover, he took a deep breath and raised his hands. Shinra Tensei. With one mighty push he blasted the clone army away. It's over, he declared. Not yet, it's not, Naruto called out from above with a familiar spinning chakra sphere in hand. What? Nagato thought as he snapped his gaze skyward. It's too late for that jutsu. You haven't a ghost of a chance now. Rasengan, Naruto exclaimed as he thrust down as he descended towards his opponent. Gakido. Fujutsu Kyuin, Nagato spoke quickly as he absorbed the jutsu just as it connected. It's over, he said again as he grabbed Naruto and restrained him. Gakido. Fujutsu Kyuin. He is absorbing my chakra, Naruto thought as he felt the last of his chakra being drained from him. The Kyuubi no Yoko has been captured, Nagato declared. Senjutsu. Senenmoto, Naruto whispered as he remained perfectly still and slipped some natural energy into the rapidly his depleting chakra reserves. What is this? Nagato thought as he felt the unfamiliar energy enter his body and tried to alter him from the inside. Sage chakra is hard to control, don't you think? Naruto winced with a grin as Nagato pushed him away, causing the blonde to fall face first to the ground. What did you do to me? Nagato rasped as he glared down at the exhausted blonde Jinchuriki. I just mixed in some natural energy required for Sage mode into the chakra you took from me, Naruto replied as he pushed himself back to his feet. Though I had thought it would turn you into a stone toad, but I think that Rinnegan of yours is trying to even out with the rest of your chakra so you don't transform. You, Nagato glared as Naruto held out his hand and started forming another spinning chakra sphere. It's too late for that jutsu. I'll just blow it away like everything. Give up, Shinra Tensei. His chakra pulsed, but unlike before, nothing happened. With that natural energy in your system, your chakra control must be screwed, Naruto grinned as he lunged forward. Why don't you give up trying to make me give up? Rasengan, he exclaimed as he slammed the chakra ball into Nagato's unshielded gut. Impossible, Nagato thought as he was blown back and sent crashing into the side of a nearby cliff. Nagato, Konan shouted as she dropped down where her friend and partner had crashed. And stay down, Naruto breathed. Naruto, yelled the voice of a familiar red-headed girl as she landed a few away atop a chunk of debris. What happened here? Natsu asked as he and the rest of Fairy Tail arrived at the edge of the crater. Are you all right? Urza asked as she rushed over to the blonde Jinchuriki as he swayed on his feet. I've been better, Naruto admitted with a wince. Damn, Nagato gritted out as Konan threw his arm over her shoulder and pulled him to his feet. It would seem your allies have arrived. What will you do now? Will you kill me and take your revenge? The shinobi world is ruled by hatred and my plan is the only one that has any chance of succeeding. I'm not going to kill you, Naruto sighed as he fell to the side only for Urza to catch him before he could hit the ground. The shinobi world may be ruled by hatred, but I don't care. That has nothing to do with my life. Konoha is gone and so is any attachment I have with that world. I am no longer a ninja of Konoha, I am a mage of Fairy Tail. And Fairy Tail mages don't kill people, we just beat them until they can't fucking move. The moment the words left his lips, the gathered Fairy Tail mages around them cheered. We're letting them go, Urza asked him. Ero Sennin wouldn't want me to kill one of his students, Naruto replied with a smile. Let's go home and prepare for Fantasia. You're leaving? Nagato asked. Just like that, you gave up on everything Ero Sennin stood for, Naruto replied without looking back. Just because you've given up doesn't mean I have. You, Nagato trailed off. There is no peace, and there never will be as long as we continue to live in these accursed worlds. Then I will break that curse, Naruto declared as he stood and half turned back towards the Rinnegan wielder. If there is such a thing as peace, then I will find it. The shinobi world is doomed to destroy itself, but this world doesn't seem to be much different. I'll find a way to create true peace, because as long as humanity exists there will always be fighting. A little fight now and then is good and all, but too much of it can consume you. No. That can't be. Nagato stared as his eyes widened. Nagato, what is it? Konan asked him. Those words, Nagato rasped out. Yeah, Naruto nodded. They're lines from Ero Sennin's first book, the book he wanted to change the world, the book that he based off of you, Nagato. It can't be, Nagato denied. It must be coincidence. If I've learned anything from joining Fairy Tail, Naruto grinned and turned away again. It's that there is no such thing as coincidence. He nodded to Urza and they resumed walking. Because the name of the main character of that book is Naruto. That boy, Nagato thought as he watched the mages of Fairy Tail laugh and joke as they headed back towards their guild. I wonder, could he be the child of prophecy that Jiraiya-sensei spoke of? Could Jiraiya-sensei have been mistaken when he selected me? Was all of this mere coincidence, or is this the plan of a real god? Nagato, Conan asked worried. Conan, I'm sorry, Nagato sighed. We're leaving too. There's nothing for us left here. Let's collect my paths and then leave this place. What about the boy? Conan inquired curious. Has that boy really changed Nagato this much? Leave him, Nagato responded as a small smile crossed his lips. My peace will never come now, but perhaps his will. Earthland. Magnolia Marketplace. The Fantasia parade began at 9 o'clock with the appearance of a statue happy sitting atop a fish-styled float with two bunny-styled floats following close behind. Dancers ringed around them as a dressed-up droid, Jet, Max and Alzak soon followed on a fruit-styled float. After that was a heart-styled float with Biska, Lucy and Levi wearing short dresses and waving fans around cheerleader style. Following close behind was Elfman in full beast mode walking down and waving to everyone he passed, happy that he finally had complete control over his form. Next was Gray and Juvia dressed as a blue king and queen with an ice castle they had created standing right behind them on their own float. After that was Urza dressed in something she called her demonstration armor, which was basically a white and red dress with night markings on it, a white breastplate, white and yellow gauntlets, and allowed her to be capable to spin various swords around her in a circle. Naruto stood right behind her with his arms around her waist while four of his clones stood at each corner of the platform with those familiar chakra spheres in their hands being held up to the sky. Next was Master Makarov's float where he stood atop what seemed to be a large red hat wearing green pants, a yellow shirt with purple sleeves, a pink tie, red gloves, a long yellow tail and a red hat with pointy yellow ears. He was dancing around with a grin on his face as Itachi followed his float close behind with the ethereal form of Susanoo overshadowing him and Mira riding on its shoulder wearing a long white dress. Finally Natsu was at the rear of the parade with crimson flames flickering behind him as he walked with Happy sitting the small green creatures that were pulling the mobile torches. Natsu turned his head up to the sky and lobbed a few fireballs into the darkness, letting them explode like fireworks. It's Fantasia. Awesome parade. It's the girls from the Miss Fairy Tail contest. So cute. They're fairies all right. And what's that? It's a castle of ice. There's water gushing all around it. Over there. It's Titania. Check out those swords. Marry me. As that guy with her, the one everyone's talking about. You know, the Maelstrom of Fairy Tail. Yeah, I think it is. Look at him with his arms around Titania, that lucky bastard. I would have thought she'd have stabbed him by now. Clearly not. It's the master. The master is here. What kind of getup is that? It does suit him. Come on. Stop making a fool of yourself already. Hey, is that guy the Dark Knight you were talking about yesterday? You know, the one inside that giant magic knight thing? Yeah, it is. And look, Miragenheim is riding on it. He's so handsome and he's so mysterious. Miragenheim is as beautiful as ever. Makarov stopped dancing and with a serious and triumphant look he put his hand up towards the sky, pointed one finger up and his thumb to the side before twisting his arm round so the back of his hand was visible. A second later the other mages of Fairy Tail did exactly the same with smirks, grins and wide smiles as fireworks went off above the town. Fairy Tail wasn't just a guild, it was a way of life, of freedom and family. It didn't matter who you were or what you were. Everyone in Fairy Tail was family, and in this world there was nothing more important than family. As the parade came to a close, Naruto couldn't help but grin as Urza slid back into his chest and smiled over her shoulder at him. Today wasn't so bad after all. A week passed and everything had gone back to normal, or as normal as it could get where Fairy Tail was concerned. Nagato and Conan had disappeared after their defeat and hadn't been heard from since. Itachi suggested that they may have returned to the shinobi world, however Naruto really didn't know what to think about them anymore. Laxus had been excommunicated from Fairy Tail by his grandfather, Master Makarov, and had left during the Fantasia parade. Naturally this caused some problems. Makarov himself had tried to take responsibility for Laxus' actions by stepping down as master of fairy tale despite everyone trying to convince him not to do it. In the end, it was a single comment from Freed that made Makarov give up on the idea. Then there was Urza, Mistogen. Urza muttered under her breath as she sat at the table alone in the corner. Do you mind some company? Naruto asked as he approached. Have a seat. Urza nodded towards the chair opposite her. I heard from Itachi that Jelil appeared in the fight against Laxus, Naruto said as he pulled out the chair and sat down at the table. The master doesn't really know anything about him, Urza uttered. He's been going by the name Mistogen while he was here. Maybe he was keeping an eye on you, Naruto suggested. I mean it's not like he hasn't done it before when he infiltrated the council. I know that, Urza acknowledged. But this was different from what happened with the council. This Jelil didn't seem insane or suspicious. In fact he seemed almost sympathetic. Anyway, I heard the results, Naruto spoke up changing the subject. Results? Urza blinked in confusion. The beauty contest, Naruto replied. Oh, Urza said catching on. The Miss Fairy Tale contest, she sighed and smirked. Naturally I won. You did, Naruto nodded with a grin. Not to mention you looked as hot as sin in that maid outfit, he shook himself at that thought. Damn you Ero Sennin, you've corrupted me. Then there was Fantasia, Urza sighed and then stared right into Naruto's only visible eye. I know it was my idea but did you have to hold me that tightly? Naruto stammered in response. I was still aching from destroying those lacrima, you know. Urza smirked as she stood up and stepped around the table. You could have been a bit gentler. Well, I thought you may have needed help standing up after that, Naruto replied. Despite the fact that your battle with pain exhausted you so much that I had to carry you back to the guild, Urza countered as she slid herself into a sitting position on the table and half turned towards the blonde. Come on Naruto, think fast, Naruto thought as his eyes unconsciously slipped down from her face to her curves. I wasn't that exhausted. Naruto, Urza said promptly. Do you have feelings for me? She clearly wasn't playing around anymore. For the last 4 months since he had joined Fairy Tail the two had grown closer, especially after the incident at the Tower of Heaven. However the two had kept themselves busy and didn't stop to think on their friendship. However, after Naruto defeated Nagato and his 6 paths of pain it was clear that things had changed between the two. They had grown closer than either of them thought they could and now Urza apparently had enough of their constant stepping around the subject. Yes, Naruto bowed his head as an image of his old love Sakura flashed through his head. When Konoha was destroyed it was clear that he would most likely never see her again and had long since discarded his feelings for her. Now here he was admitting his feelings for the only girl that had truly given him the time of day. Good, Urza smiled. Then you won't have any objections to what I am about to do. What? Naruto started only to be cut off when she grabbed his collar and pulled his lips to hers. He thought as he closed his only uncovered eye and kissed her back-headedly. All right, break it up you two, Miragen spoke up as she approached from the side and the two sprang apart. There's a place for that sort of thing. Yes, Urza said curtly as she stood and started walking away. Naruto, you're taking me out tonight, she spoke over her shoulder. Yeah, Naruto nodded as he stared after the red-headed beauty. What was it you told me Ero Sennin? There is nothing hotter than a woman who can kill you, you said and I told you that I didn't believe you and that you were just being a pervert like usual. I take back everything I said, you were absolutely and completely right. Urza is a strong woman, Miragen spoke up catching his attention. Don't hurt her. I won't, Naruto declared. That's a promise of a lifetime. A few days later everything had returned to normal and the events of the previous month were forgive but not forgotten. The few dates that Naruto and Urza had gone off really well though Urza had refused to allow him to eat ramen on their dates. What'll I do? Lucy cried as she rested her head on the table. I wish I had a boyfriend, Kana sighed as she sat down beside the blonde girl. What's with you all of a sudden? Lucy asked looking up. Men, it's men, Kana replied like that explained it all. Go without a boyfriend for a while and I start getting the itch, you know. Lucy's face reddened at her words. What are you all embarrassed for? I'm not, Lucy stammered as she turned her head away to conceal her blush. Oh, Kana asked with a knowing smirk. How many guys have you gone out with? Maybe like 3. Lucy chuckled nervously. Yup, a total lie, Kana confirmed. Haven't you ever wanted a boyfriend? Sure, a little, Lucy admitted. But honestly, I don't really know, and it's not like there are many guys I like that way. Well, Urza has already sunk her teeth into Naruto and the rest are either hopeless like Natsu or total perverts, Kana mused. I may try my luck with Itachi. What about Natsu? Lucy asked. Sure, Natsu was hot-headed and everything but he was a good guy. Natsu. Kana sighed and shook her head. He never really got over Listena's death. Lisena, Lucy thought as she remembered seeing the white-haired girl's picture a few times. Listen up, everyone. Lucis never had a boyfriend. Kana shouted to the room. Don't tell everyone, Lucy cried. Fear not, Kana said as she turned back to the blonde girl. My cards have spoken. She took out a blue and white card. Today you will have a fateful encounter. A fateful encounter? Lucy asked in surprise and a second later Urza ran past them wearing a purple dress. Urza, what's with the dress? Next is makeup, Urza responded as she stopped and looked over her shoulder at them. I can't stay like this, she took off running again. Shubuda Duda, Gajil sang as he slid past wearing his white business suit and a guitar in his hands. That's odd, Lucy commented. The harvest festival is over already, so. Didn't you know? Mira giggled as she approached carrying a plate of drinks. A reporter for the Weekly Sorcerer is coming to do an interview here. What? Lucy gasped in surprise. The source is coming. He said he was writing a special feature on Fairy Tail, Mira added. Quote. Interview. Special feature. Reporter, fateful encounter. Oh my god, Lucis said as her eyes widened. I can do this. I can totally do this. She chuckled darkly, forcing Mira to take an uncomfortable step back. Natsu, Lucis broke, Happy commented from the side. Maybe she ate something that went bad, Natsu suggested. Or maybe she's snapped under the pressure of having to pay her rent, Gray mused. I can't stay here, Lucy yelled and took off running out of the door. Well, that was odd, Happy said in his usual tone. How the hell do you keep winning at this? Macau questioned as he threw down his cards. You said you've never even played before. I'm just lucky, I guess, Naruto shrugged with a grin as he placed his cards down on the table. It was a royal flush. I call bullshit, Droy spoke up. That's the 8th game we've played where you've gotten a royal flush. Yeah, Gray agreed as he leaned back wearing nothing but his boxer shorts. Gray-sama, Juvia stared misty-eyed from the side. We're not playing strip poker, Natsu told him as his cards burst into flames. Maybe you should worry about burning your cards every time you lose, Gray shot back. Are you trying to pick a fight? Natsu glared as he stood. You're pissing me off, Gray glared back and the two dissolved into a brawl, causing the others to sigh. Just another day in Fairy Tail, Naruto groaned as he leaned back his chair. So who is winning? Urza inquired as she appeared behind him still wearing her purple dress and gently massaged his shoulders. I am, Naruto purred as she slipped her hand up to touch the side of his cheek. Stop that. Why, are these marks you have, sensitive? Urza questioned further as she continued her task. Wipe those smirks off your faces before I pummel you all, Naruto said with a glare at the others who sat grinning at the table. Spoken like a man, Elfman proclaimed. I think I'll call it a day, Naruto said as he stood up, turned to his new red-headed girlfriend. You're taking me out tonight, Urza spoke clearly. It wasn't a request, it was a direct order, and the unmentioned possibilities of what would happen to him if he should deny her request were too gruesome for him to imagine. I'll pick you up at 7, Naruto responded. And I have to say that dress looks great on you. Finally, Jiraiya's teachings were proving to be useful. You think so? Urza asked back. I was thinking about changing it. Really? Naruto blinked confused. But I thought you liked it. I do, it just doesn't feel right, Urza replied. Truthfully, she had always preferred her armor over dresses and civilian clothing, a result of her time as a slave at the Tower of Heaven wearing nothing but rags. The armor signified her resolve and strength, so she normally wore them instead of regular civilian clothes like her friends. Well, I personally think that you look better in your armor. Naruto smirked similarly to his fallen sensei, Jiraiya. Either that or nothing at all. Pervert, Urza whacked him upside the head for the mere thought. She turned away to hide her now red face that had turned the same color as her hair. He has been turning into more of a pervert as the day goes by, especially when reading those books of his, she thought as she saw Naruto recover and take out a familiar orange book. Naruto, fight me, Natsu yelled out his challenge. Huh, Naruto asked turning towards him and looking up from the book. Did you say something? Karyu no Tekken, Natsu exclaimed as he lunged forward with his fist now covered in orange flames. Rasengan, Naruto whispered as he charged a spinning chakra sphere in his right hand. The two attacks connected head-on and the floor around them cracked before they were both blown back. Natsu crashed into the stage while Naruto landed on the wall above the door and stood there on the wall itself, defying gravity and still reading his book. Natsu was at it again, Urza sighed. Earthland. Fury southern shoreline. Far to the south sat Nagato not far from the cliff edge with a sleeping Conan at his side as he stared out at the calm ocean. They had been traveling for days with no particular direction in mind and they appeared to be seemingly lost on the road of life. Though if you were to ask him, he would tell you that he was waiting for something. You are a difficult pair to track down, a familiar monotone voice spoke up, breaking the silence. Itachi, Nagato grunted as the Uchiha approached from behind them. Madara thought that you had died after your battle with your younger brother. I did, Itachi confirmed. I assume that Madara didn't get my body. There was no body to recover, Nagato replied. He was quite angry at that. I'd imagine so, Itachi grunted. Though I am sure he has another way to gain the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, he added in thought. And Sasuke. He is Madara's pawn now, Nagato answered. I see, Itachi said finally. What are you doing here, Itachi? Nagato inquired. You already know, Itachi responded. Naruto. So peace has arrived, huh? Nagato mused as he stared up at the moon. Then the time has come. Hello and welcome. Have you decided on your order? Lucy asked dressed in an orange waitress outfit. I would like a blue sky with meat sauce, and a holly soda pollo, one customer dressed in a stereotypical dark blue wizard outfit answered. I'd like the beast man curry, the other man dressed in a white business suit spoke up. Right, Lucy smiled as she wrote down their orders. Thank you for your orders, would you like some dessert with that? Let's see, yes, I'll have this ruby parfait, the blue wizard replied. Same for me, nodded the businessman. Thank you very much, Lucy bowed and turned away. I'm ready to order now. Called another customer. Coming, Lucy called back. Wait, what the hell am I doing? She yelled and threw her notepad to the floor. Come on, Lucy, Natsu spoke from the side wearing a waiter's uniform with his scarf and carrying a plate of food. This is a job too, you know. What part of this looks like a mage's job to you? Lucy shot back. And what is with this outfit I'm wearing? The chefs at the restaurant make magical food, after all, Happy explained. Yup, Natsu nodded as he took a bite out of the food on the plate. And we're here to help out, remember. No eating the customer's food. Lucy yelled at him. A waiter's uniform isn't bad once in a while, Gray spoke from the side carrying another tray of food and only wearing his boxers. Try wearing it, then. Lucy shouted at him. And whose rent are we working to pay off here again? Gray asked her. I'm sorry, Lucy apologized. Recently there was a fiasco with her father where he lost his company and all of the family money including his home. He had gone to work at a merchant guild in a nearby town that had a little trouble with some thugs which Lucy had beaten up, and in doing so she hadn't been on a mission where she could earn the money needed to pay her rent. Now here they were. Besides, check it out, Gray said as he nodded towards the far end of the restaurant. May I have your order? Urza asked as she leaned over an occupied table wearing an orange waitress outfit. I want, please give us one of everything, the three customers at the table pleaded. Some people are really getting into this, Gray commented. I guess I'll do my best, Lucy sighed. And then there is Naruto, Gray added as he turned towards the ex-shinobi. May I take your order now? Naruko asked cutely, also dressed in an orange waitress outfit. When Urza had found out about his Oroku no Jutsu, she wasn't impressed and had been about to ban him from ever using it when he told her it was used for infiltration missions. After a very long conversation she eventually allowed him to use it, but only on missions, and even then he was to say that Naruko was his sister should the weakly sorcerer ever get wind of it. A sweet lie that he could easily make true by simply having a clone become Naruko while he stood at the counter collecting payment. Unlike Naruto, she had both of her ocean blue eyes instead of Kakashi's Sharingan, despite Naruto's attempts to add it to her. Sometimes it almost seemed like she was a separate person. "Are you on the menu?" asked a brute of a male customer. "Oh, you." Naruko waved away his question. "I'm sure you taste absolutely lovely." The brute smirked and reached up to grab her. "Let go of me." Naruko glared at him as she tried to pull away. "I just want to ask you something." The man's smirk widened at seeing her struggle. "Nissan." Naruko yelped as she felt his hold tighten around her wrist. "Get your hands off of my sister." Naruto growled and appeared from the side, landing a solid punch to the brute's face. "This is a restaurant, not a whorehouse. Get out of my sight before I throw you out." "Why, you'll regret that," the brute snarled back as he and his gang attacked as one. A minute later, restaurant doors flung open as the brute and his gang were kicked out into the street. "You're banned from eating here ever again." Naruto growled and closed the door, not even bothering to see if the troublemakers he had just beaten up were even conscious anymore. "Thanks, Nissan." Naruko sighed in relief. If that brute had used any more force on her wrist, then she would have popped then and there. That would have taken a while to explain. "Don't mention it." Naruto waved it off. Still, that was the 5th time today that someone had tried to harass Naruko, not to mention Urza and Lucy. Natsu and Gray usually stepped in when someone tried something with Lucy, but when someone messed with Urza, well, let's just say she didn't need help dealing with them. "Let's get back to work." "Good work out there, everyone," spoke Shido Yujima. "You young uns these days sure are hard workers, There'll always be a place for you here." "Thank you." Urza smiled back, still dressed as a waitress. "Today was an exceptional experience." "I think she likes the outfit," Happy commented. "What's not to like?" Naruto grinned only to receive a whack across the head from a blushing Urza. "Man, now I know how Mira-chan feels," Gray groaned as he sat back against the stone wall. "Phew, I'm stuffed," Natsu sighed as he sat down. "Just how much of this place's food did you eat?" Lucy asked incredulously. "What about Naruko-chan?" Gray asked. "Shouldn't you dispel her by now?" "I wish you wouldn't talk about me like I'm not even here." Naruko glared and turned away with a huff. "Seriously, what is with her?" Gray questioned. "If I didn't know she was one of your clones, I would have thought she really was your sister." "My clones can think for themselves," Naruto shrugged. "Isn't that dangerous?" Lucy inquired. "What if they rebel?" "They're still a part of me," Naruto replied. "I trust them like I trust myself." "Nya." Naruko stuck out her tongue at them when he said that. "By the way, Yujima-san, how did things go at the council?" Urza asked the old magic chef. "Oh, well, I'm not a member anymore, you know," Shido admitted. "The council?" exclaimed both Natsu and Gray in surprise. "Didn't you guys know? Yujima-san used to be one of the counselors," Lucy explained. "Zuku. Or was it Zulul?" Shido mused. "You mean Jelil," Urza answered with a sweat drop. "Ah yes, that's right," Shido nodded. The betrayal of Zulul and Ultir was quite the blunder for the council. Now should be the time to establish a fresh, new council, and the groundwork for it seems to be being laid in all quarters. "It caused you all quite a lot of grief, it did. I am really sorry." "No, I've heard that you were set against firing Idarian the entire time," Urza smiled sadly. "And you even retired out of shame for the actions of the council." "Nah, I just don't think I'm cut out for politics," Shido sighed. "Anyway, cooking is so much more fun." "Ramen." Naruto drooled when Shido handed a bowl of ramen to the blonde Jinchuriki. "Where's mine?" Naruko whined. "Nissan, share it with me." "Huh, did you say something?" Naruto asked. "Nissan, you're turning into Kakashi-sensei," Naruko cried. "By the way, Natsu-kun, Gray-kun," Shido spoke directly to the pair. "A lot of changes are going to be made to the council, and without me around, there won't be anybody to stand up for Fairy Tail when they get into trouble anymore. So suggest you keep that mind. Absolutely. Both Natsu and Gray responded at the same time. We should be heading home, Urza spoke up. Until next time, Yujima-san. Earthland. Magnolia Fairy Tale Guild. What is this? Lucy asked the question as everyone crowded around the image of a blue chart hanging midair. It's an organization chart of the Dark Guilds, Mira replied. I drew it, Rita spoke up. When you look at it overall, there are quite a lot of them, Urza mused. Are we going to go out and pound them? Naruto asked. Yeah, that sounds like fun, Natsu agreed. There has been some activity from them lately, Mira stated. We have to strengthen the bonds between guilds. What's the big oval? Gray inquired. Juvia knows, it is the Balam Alliance, Juvia spoke up. The Balam Alliance is the most powerful force of dark guilds combining the three guilds of Oracion Cease, Tartaros and Grimoire Heart. Each of them have a number of associated guilds, and they control the underworld of dark guilds. Then there's the guild that acts independently of the rest, Raven Tail. If they've been around for so long, then why hasn't someone dealt with them by now? Naruto asked the question. The law against starting wars between guilds, Mira answered. The old Magic Council refused to allow any single guild to wage war on another, even if they were a dark guild. I hate politics, Naruto sighed and shook his head. Huh, Lucy blinked in surprise. Eisenwald. Yes, that's the guild that Aragorn was in, Urza nodded. So that was one of the guilds associated with Oracion Cease, huh? Gray mused. Eisenwald, Naruto asked. It was a guild we destroyed before you joined, Urza replied. There are a lot of names that I remember up there, Mikao commented. Aren't there some that used to be legal guilds, too? Ghoul Spirits, the one that the Ragenshu destroyed, was also one of them, Mira added. And the guilds Juvia and Gajil-kun destroyed when we were in Phantom Lord were all from Oracion Cease, Juvia declared happily. Please, don't go smiling about it, Gray said with a sweat drop. I hope they're not angry, Lucy shivered. Don't worry about it, Naruto grinned. If they decide to pull something, then we'll kick their asses. I heard that Oracion Cease only has 6 members, Mira added. But even with only 6 members, they're a member of the strongest organization. Only 6? Naruto asked. These guys sound like the Akatsuki. About the Oracion Cease, Makarov spoke up as he entered the room. We're going to take them down, he declared to the room's shock. Oh, welcome back, Master, Mira smiled. What kind of reaction is that? Lucy asked her. So, Master, what exactly is this about? Urza inquired. At the regular meeting a few days ago, the Oracion Cease came up on the agenda. It seems that they're up to something, Makarov explained. It was decided that this development cannot be ignored, and so a guild must be sent to eliminate them. And you just had to draw the losing card, as usual, huh? Gray asked knowingly. Fairy Tail is taking up that responsibility. Juvia asked further. Not quite, Makarov continued. The enemy is simply too large for that. If we went in alone, then we would end up as the sole targets of the Balam Alliance's wrath. As such, we're going to be forming an alliance of our own. An alliance? Naruto asked the question. With who? Fairy Tail, Blue Pegasus, Lamia Scale, Kate Shelter. Each of these guilds is to select a number of members, and those members will join forces to defeat the enemy, Makarov concluded. We can handle those guys alone, Natsu spoke up. Hell, I can handle those guys alone. Naive fool, Urza said as she whacked him over the head. The master is thinking of the consequences that come afterwards. Wait, hold on a second, we're only dealing with 6 people, right? Lucy asked. What kind of monsters are they? You've seen what the master, Urza, Naruto and Itachi can do. Not to mention Natsu, Gray responded. With comrades like them, what do you think qualifies as a monster? He has a point, Naruto agreed, though he hated to be referred to as a monster. Speaking of Itachi, has anyone seen him? He has been gone for nearly a month now. Gray trailed off. Itachi-kun said he had some business to take care of, Mira answered with a smile. Then it seems he will not be going with you, Makarov sighed. Urza, Naruto, Natsu, Gray, Lucy, you 5 will represent Fairy Tail in the Mage Alliance. Why the hell am I in this grand strategy, anyway? Lucy cried as the team sat in the back of the carriage taking them towards their destination. I think it's a pain too, don't you start complaining, Gray sighed. This is the master's decision, Urza added. Do we not have a duty to live up to his expectations? But what about Gajil and Juvia? They'd be much better suited for a battle like this, Lucy reasoned. You shouldn't put yourself down like that, Naruto told her. You're a member of Fairy Tail too, you know. Those two are both busy with other work, Urza replied. Are we still not there yet? Natsu groaned as the carriage hit a bump on the road. In the end, we're just the same old group as always, Lucy sighed. Surely that's a good thing, Urza countered. This is our first strategy meeting with the delegates from the other guilds. It's important that we have good relations within our own delegation at least. The last thing we need when we fight the enemy is bad teamwork, Naruto added. There it is, Happy spoke up as he pointed forward at a large building they were approaching. That's the meeting point, Urza nodded. Let's go. Naruto grinned at the sight. Earthland. Master Bob's villa. I don't know about this place. Lucy trailed off as she looked over the surprisingly clean entrance hall. This place's decor is seriously creepy. Maybe the guy who owns it isn't right in the head, Naruto quipped. Happy agreed. This is Master Bob's villa, from Blue Pegasus, Urza explained. Him. Gray frowned. I'm not so good with him. Now, don't go there, Urza shivered. He's powerful enough to give our own master a run for his money, despite that. I see. Lucy chuckled nervously. Am I missing something? Naruto asked them. It's a long story, you don't want to know, Gray responded. Seriously, you really don't want to know. Okay, Naruto said finally with a shrug. Are we there yet? Natsu groaned as he sat down on the red carpet. Yes, we're here Natsu, Happy replied. Yes, you've arrived. Arrived? What the fuck? Naruto turned quickly towards the source of the voices. Hey. Welcome, Fairy Tail folks. A light shone down from the ceiling and illuminated everything at the foot of the stairs where three figures now stood. Sorry to keep you waiting, the three newcomers said as one. They appeared to all be male and dressed in smart business suits. We are the representatives chosen from Blue Pegasus, Trimons. Hibiki of the 100 Knights, introduced the tallest of the three. Eve of the Holy Knight, continued the shortest of the three. Ren of the Silent Knight, finished the last of the three. Trimons from Blue Pegasus, Lucy asked in surprise. How cool. And the one called Hibiki, he's always at the top of the, I wish he were my boyfriend, ranking in Weekly Sorcerer. You're that Hibiki latest, she blushed when he smiled at her. I could beat his ass, and his ass, are you kidding me? That guy wouldn't last a second in a fight against me, Naruto thought as he looked from one of the Trimon to another. Crap, I forgot my clothes. Gray panicked when he found himself dressed in nothing but his boxers again and Natsu leaned against the pillar beside him ready to pass out at any moment. Those guy, not a chance, Lucy sighed and turned away. Your beauty doesn't do the rumors justice, Hibiki spoke with a dazzling smile. How do you do, Titania? Eve bowed to the red-headed knight. Now, come this way, Ren smiled as he appeared behind her and went to place a hand on her shoulder. Like hell. Naruto's eyes darkened and a second later space and time bent around him as he switched places with Urza. Kawarimi no Jutsu, he thought as he turned and grabbed Ren's outstretched wrist. Let's get one thing straight, we may be allies but I sure as hell won't let you touch any of the girls on our team, understand? He said the last part with a short burst of the Kyuubi's killing intent. Needless to say it was enough to bring the three players to their knees gasping for air. How did he switch places with me? Urza thought as she looked over at her boyfriend. He never does talk about what magic he uses. She shivered when he released a bit of his demonic aura but pushed away her disgust at the feeling. Enough, we're supposed to be allies so let's conduct this operation like the civilized people we pretend to be. Right, Naruto nodded and released Ren's wrist before walking over to Urza. Guests, a new voice spoke up as someone descended the stairs. Stay right where you are. You've got to be kidding me, Naruto's eyes widened at the sight of the newcomer. My eyes, turn away damn it. Naruto, I don't want to see this. The Kyuubi shouted from the back of his mind in horror. That's worse than staring at your closet full of orange jumpsuits back in Konoha. What's that silky smooth voice? Lucy shivered and turned. It's Ichiya-sama, Ren replied. Ichiya, Urza stammered. It has been quite a while, Urza-san. Ichiya spoke as he pulled out a blue rose. I can't believe it. Urza started to shake as she stared up at him. You're joining us. Urza, who is this guy? Naruto asked. I've longed to see you again, my honey. Ichiya smiled down at her. He was a short man with orange spiky hair, a square mouth and dressed in a white business suit. Ichiya is here, at your service. My honey. Lucy and Happy yelled in shock. What the fuck? Naruto asked slowly. Urza is shaking, Lucy and Happy said as the redhead continued to shake. What an unexpected reunion, Ichiya proclaimed as he slid down the banister. You're Ichiya-sama's girlfriend, asked the Triman. How rude of us, they bowed as one in apology. I deny it with all my might. Urza shot back. Great, so this guy is delusional too, Naruto muttered. Like Urza would fall for a guy like that. I've heard about you before, Ichiya smiled. Urza-san, Lucy-san. Not interested, he said as he looked them over one at a time. Urza, if you don't do something about this guy very soon, I'm going to hit him with a full blast of its chakra, Naruto said as he glared at Ichiya. He's creeping me out, Lucy shivered. Sorry, I can't really handle him either, Urza said as she took a step back. He may be an incredible wizard, but... Listen up, you crappy blue Pegasus boy toys, Gray spoke up. How about you stop making passes at our princesses, huh? You men can go home now, Ichiya deadpanned. Thanks for coming, the Triman bowed as if to dismiss them. They send posers like you on an important mission. I could wipe the floor with you, Gray shot back. Try us, Ren dared. We're strong, Eve informed. A fight, let me join, Natsu grinned. Stop it, you two, Urza interrupted. Urza-san, Ichiya spoke as he appeared at her side. Your parfum is incredible, as always. Stay away from me, Urza yelled as she punched him in the face, sending him flying back. Men, Ichiya groaned as he flew. She went and did it. Lucy exclaimed in surprise. About damn time, Naruto grumbled. Men, Ichiya said again as he sailed towards the door. Someone walked through the doorway and caught Ichiya by the head before he could go any further. A second later Ichiya's head was frozen in ice as the newcomer chuckled. This is quite the greeting, the newcomer said. You consider yourselves equal to Lamia scale. Leon, Gray asked in surprise. Gray, Leon asked back, equally surprised. So you joined a guild, Natsu grinned as Leon threw Ichiya to the floor. Men, handsome, men. Ichiya gasped as the ice around his head shattered and he rolled to a stop beside the Triman. What the hell are you doing? Gray asked his childhood friend. What? He started it, Leon shrugged. This is getting more messed up by the minute, Naruto commented. You're new, Leon said as he looked over the blonde Jinchuriki. I don't remember you fighting at Galuna Island. It was before his time, Gray responded. What do you think you're doing to our general? Ren glared. How awful, Eve agreed. I think all the men should leave, Hibiki suggested. Oh, but there is a woman here as well, spoke a seductive voice from behind Leon. Ningyogeki. Suddenly the carpet under Lucy's feet shot up into the air, surprising her. Wait. This magic, Lucy stammered as she regained her footing. Ohaho. Don't try pretending you've forgotten me, said a woman with pink hair as the carpet fell around her. It's time for you to all forget about the past me, I have been reborn for the sake of love. Sherry. Lucy trailed off. More, Ichiya exclaimed as he rushed forward. I need to smell more of that glorious perfume. Stay away or I'll slice you, Urza threatened shakily. Keep your hands off her, Naruto growled as he kicked Ichiya away. I have been itching to do that all day. Leon, Gray greeted. Gray, Leon nodded back. Bring it on punks, Natsu challenged causing the Triman to glare. You, I cannot love, Sherry smiled coldly towards Lucy. I don't like you either, Lucy shot back. Enough, a new voice shouted from the doorway. We are here to form an alliance and defeat the Oración Cease. This is no time to be fighting amongst ourselves. Jura-san, Leon trailed off. Jura, Urza asked in surprise. This man, Ren mused. The ace of Lamia, Rock Iron Jura, Hibiki confirmed. Who? Natsu asked. He's one of the 10 wizard saints, Happy explained. You mean like the old man and Jose? Naruto asked. Happy nodded. Even I've heard of that name, Lucy shuddered. 5 fairies, and 4 Pegasi, I see, but 3 of us will be quite sufficient, Sherry smiled. 3 of the guilds are now assembled, Jura spoke up. All that remains is the delegation from Kate's shelter. You say, delegation, but from what I hear, they are only sending a single mage, a bloody Ichiya added. A single mage? Those S are only gonna give us on mage to help out in this stupidly dangerous mission. Gray demanded. Wait, don't tell me it's going to be some stupidly powerful person. Lucy stammered out as a single figure appeared in the doorway. No way, Naruto thought as the newcomer tripped and fell forward. I'm sorry I'm so late, the newcomer said as she stood up and dusted herself off. I'm from Kate's shelter. My name is Wendy. It was a 12-year-old girl with long blue hair and wearing a yellow dress. Pleased to be working with you all. A child? Lucy asked with wide eyes. A girl? Jura asked confused. Wendy, Natsu muttered. All the guilds are now assembled, Jura declared. Whoa, hold it, Gray spoke up. An offensive endeavor of this scale, and they send us a single child. Sherry questioned. What do Kate's shelter think they're playing at? Alone? I think not, you tawdry woman, another voice spoke up as a white cat stepped out from behind Wendy. Carla, you followed me, Wendy asked in surprise. But of course, the white cat said simply. I would worry to no end if you were to go off alone. A cat, the Triman exclaimed. Another talking cat, Naruto blinked. As if one wasn't enough, he sighed as he saw Happy become dazed when he saw the female cat. I can't actually fight at all, but I know lots of support magic that should be useful to you all. Wendy said nervously, so please don't leave me out completely, she cried. Honestly, Carla sighed, it's that timidity of yours that makes people look down on you. My apologies, Urza smiled at the two. We were a little taken aback, but I'm sure nobody meant you any insult. We look forward to working with you, Wendy. Yeah, Naruto agreed. Welcome to the crew. Thank you. Wendy bowed to hide her reddening face. So these are the Urza and Naruto of Fairy Tail. Titania and the Maelstrom, huh? They seem dependable at least, Carla thought. I thought they'd send the Dark Knight too. Now that everyone is here, can we get on with this now? Naruto asked before the Triman could surround the blue-haired little girl. Yes, Ichiya nodded. I shall proceed to the explanation of our strategy. But first I must visit the perfume of the lavatory. Let's get on with this already, Naruto gritted out in annoyance. We came here to do a job, not sniff perfume all day. Do not insult the perfume, Ichiya glared darkly. Ichiya, Jura spoke up. Please. North of our current location lies the Worth Woodlands, Ichiya explained. It is there that a mighty magic was sealed away in ancient times, its name is Nirvana. Nirvana, Lucy asked. Never heard of it, Leon added. Have you, Jura? Asked Sherry. No, Jura replied. I know not the name. We know that its destructive power was so great that the people back then saw fit to seal it, Ren continued. But we don't know exactly what kind of magic it was, Eve added. But since Oracion Cease have gathered in the Worth Woodlands, we should assume that Nirvana is their goal, Hibiki finished. In order to prevent them from obtaining it, we must defeat them now. A power sealed away because of the destruction it can cause, Naruto thought. Where have I heard that before? We have 13 mages, whilst they have but 6. But we would do well not to underestimate them, Hibiki continued. Each of those 6 mages is extremely powerful, he said as several images of the Oracion Cease appeared in the air beside him. Cobra, who uses poisonous snakes. Racer, whose name would appear to indicate that he uses speed-related magic. Hotai of the Heaven's Eye. Angel, a woman who is said to be able to see into your heart. Information on this man is scarce, but he is known as Midnight, and finally as their leader, Brain. Each of these mages has power enough to annihilate a guild single-handedly. We must take full advantage of our superior numbers. Maybe you shouldn't have come along, Naruto, Lucy said nervously. Yeah, Gray agreed. At least then these guys might have a chance. Are you telling me that you don't want me here? Naruto mock glared at the two. I shouldn't really be counted in this, Lucy sighed. I mean we all saw what you did to the landscape when you beat Pain. I mean Nagato, so you really should fill in my place. Sorry, that's not happening, Naruto smiled back. I have to agree, Urza spoke up. Having Naruto step onto the battlefield is overkill, even by our standards, she mused as she thought back to the sheer destruction that battle had done to the area. Hell, people were already calling it the Scar of Pain, and there were even people trying to turn it into a tourist attraction. Is he really that strong? Wendy thought as she looked over at the blonde Jinchuriki. She'd heard of his exploits. Seriously, who hadn't? Despite being relatively new to fairy tale, he had quickly rose to be recognized as one of the strongest in the guild, probably second only to Makarov and Guildarts themselves. According to the Weekly Sorcerer, he was even dating Titania, and the aftermath of the battlefield between him and the man known simply as Pain wasn't on the level of normal fight between mages. They'd turned a mountain range into a war zone and left nothing but chaos and destruction scattered everywhere. Are you saying I should stay here? Naruto asked them. Because that is not going to happen. Our strategy is not limited to simple combat, Ichiya continued, a little annoyed at being ignored. The important point is that we locate their base of operations. Their base? Leon asked. We have yet to confirm this for certain, but we believe they have established a temporary base of operations in the woodlands, Ren explained. If at all possible, we want to get all 6 of them together at that base, Ichiya finished. How do we do that? Gray asked. By beating them up, Natsu shouted out his answer. Back to simple combat already, I see. Lucy sighed. He's got the right idea, Naruto grinned. What do we do once they are gathered there? Urza inquired. We use our guild's mighty Pegasus airship, the Christina, to destroy their base and them along with it, Ichiya answered. A magical bomber? Sherry asked nervously. An airship like the ones used by Yukigakure no Sato? Naruto thought as he remembered his mission to save that land of snow. You're breaking out a bomber craft against humans? Lucy asked. That is the nature of the enemy we face, Jura reasoned. Now, take heed, if combat does ensue, nobody attempt to face an enemy alone. You must always battle in groups of at least 2. Right, Natsu grinned. I'm all pumped now. He ran out of the villa. I'm gonna take all 6 of them on by myself. Natsu, happy, yelled. Try listening to the strategy. Lucy called after him. This is because I beat Pain, isn't it? Naruto asked. 6 on 1, Urza nodded. I suppose we should go after him, she said, causing Lucy to cry. That absolute idiot, Gray muttered as the 4 remaining fairy tale mages ran after their comrade. Well, what are you waiting for? Naruto called over his shoulder with a wide smile. Let's go wild already. The end. Now we will